I'm here today because I'm addicted.
No sweat. I play video games better than anybody.
You'd think with all my video game experience, I'd be feeling more prepared.
Hello, game fans, and welcome to episode 5 of the Gaming Sessions podcast. Thank you for staying with us. We're sorry for the long break since the last episode. We actually recorded a episode the week before last, and it was amazing. You should have heard it. But sadly, technical issues made it not possible to actually put it online. I won't go into the details, but yes, it was awesome. And if we could ever find those missing recordings, then we will share them with you. But for the time being, let's just enjoy what we have right now, because we have a host of gaming news, and as always I have the immense John Bibby with me. He is the Nightwing to my Batman. He is the Quiet to my miserable Snake, or whatever he's called nowadays. I give you John Bibby.
Thanks, Ian. Those intros are getting better and better every week.
And thank you very much for joining me, and thank you for joining me so late,
No problem.
and for dealing with me even though I am randomly in Brighton on a training course and on an event. I'm weirdly in a hotel room recording this podcast, and I'm going to be honest with you. I am pretty drunk, so I'm just gonna see what happens, and let's just go with it and see if we can talk about some games, because that's what I'd like to talk about. That is what I'm addicted to. That is what the Gaming Sessions podcast is all about. So welcome, John, and please start us off with a bit of sense. What have you been playing this week or this month?
Right, well, I'm not quite as drunk as Ian, so hopefully I'll make a bit more sense. But yeah, what I've been playing for this since the last podcast, and even though it's been such a long time, I've only actually been playing 2 games in that entire time, and I think most of them will probably guess the main one. It is the big one, the big release that's been out in the last few weeks, and that's Metal Gear Solid 5. And I'll sum it up to start with. It's an amazing game, definitely contender for Game of the Year. I can't think of many things wrong with it. It's got everything.
Is there cardboard boxes in it?
There's many cardboard boxes in it. There's cardboard boxes in every size, shape, colour, camo pattern, whatever you want to do to them. And you can even put stickers on the outside of them. That's what this game is in a nutshell, really. You can... I read about it before I got it, and they said there is no right or wrong way of doing anything in this game. You can complete missions however you want to. And it's totally true. It is an open world game in every sense of the word. Brilliant, really, really good fun. Have you actually tried it yet, Ian?
No. I mean, it's one of those games which I haven't got excited for. The buzz has been around. I played the original Metal Gear and I thought it was good. And since then, I've been dipping in and out. Played a little bit of Patriots and things like that recently, but I don't know. I'm not very good with stealth games generally. And then this game, it didn't get me excited. I wanted to get excited because everyone else was getting excited. And I saw the images of Quiet and I got a little bit excited, but I think for the wrong reasons. And I heard about it. I heard about building a base, going around and giving people a thumbs up and generally motivational speaking. And I just thought, I'd rather be beating people up in Batman. So yeah. I was just, I don't know. You're going to have to convince me. What is so good about this game?
Well, I was in the same boat as you, to be honest. The Metal Gear games, I played the first one on the PlayStation years ago. I absolutely loved it. That blew me away. And all the Psycho Mantis battle and having you swapping out your controllers and ports and things like that. That was an amazing game at the time. I played a bit of 2. I don't think I played 3. Played 4, which was basically watching cutscenes of someone cook eggs on a plane. It wasn't the greatest game going. But I'd been following the development of this because I like open world games. And I was intrigued to see what they could do with it. I like you. I'm not the best at stealth games. I do like them, but I'm not the best at them.
I just don't have the patience. I can't sit there and try something 10 times, like sneak in here, kill somebody here and silently kill somebody here. I just don't have the patience for it. If I get kicked to the same point and I've lost an hour of my life trying to do the same thing, it drives me spare. I don't know.
Well, it's not like that. The one good thing about it is it's not insta-fail stealth like a lot of games are nowadays. Insta-fail stealth sections are annoying. They're almost as annoying as jump puzzles in first-person shooters, but I'll come on to that later. But you don't. If you get caught, you can do many things. You get it's like a reflex time, like bullet time if you get caught. So you have about 5 seconds that you can actually slow motion where you can take the guy down with a shot to the head, or you can knock him out unconscious or whatever, or you can leg it. You can run to the hills because it is open world. You can go wherever you want and hide and wait for it all to blow over. Well, there's so many...
By hiding behind a horse.
Well, hiding behind a rock or a horse, or you can hide behind a rock.
Hey, where's that assassin that was just here a minute ago? Oh, I don't know.
He's turned into
he ran off, and now there's a random horse on the horizon, or a big rock.
A heavily armed horse. And then you can make your horse poo on your head if you want, which is actually really good fun.
Yeah, it's good for disguise.
But there's so much you can do in the game. I don't think I've really scratched the surface. It's so massive as well. It's so massive it's almost off-putting. Because, I mean, I think I've put about 20 hours, maybe 25 hours into it. And when you go into a mission, it says on the bottom, percentage complete. And I think I'm about 14%, 15% complete. Because I've been doing a lot of the side missions. I've done quite a bit of the main story. I've unlocked all the buddies and things like that. So I've got Quiet and the dog, which is quite handy. But there's little things in the game that, you know, they'll do a mission which... Some missions are fantastic. Some missions are amazing, good fun. Some missions are not that much fun. But little things just make you smile. Like you have to enter a mission, you have to call in your helicopter. Then you get in your helicopter and go to your mission, and you call it to take you out of missions. But you can collect music tapes. The whole game set in the 80s, by the way. It's set in 1984, 1985. And you can collect music tapes, so you can get a lot of music from the era. And the last game I played, or a couple of games before that, I found a tape with the Final Countdown by Europe on it.
Nice.
It's amazing. And you can set that so you can upgrade your helicopter so it's got a speaker on the outside of it. So when you sat there in the thing, you call in your helicopter to come and pick you up, or even provide air support and fly around you firing a machine gun, you just hear the Final Countdown getting closer and closer and louder until this helicopter bursts out of the sky and just starts machine gunning people playing Europe, the Final Countdown. It's amazing. Nice. Or you can have Kids in America, The Man Who Solved the World. There's so much. The music's great. But it's a very, very good game. And the reason it got sold to me was by a friend of mine who is a massive Metal Gear Solid fan. He said, you've got to get into it, you've got to try it, you've got to love it. The story's there, but it's usual Kojima nonsense.
Weirdness.
Yeah, completely weird story.
Do you have to know the previous storylines to get into it?
I don't think so at all, because I don't know what was going on. I watched a few YouTube videos to see if I could catch up, and that made no sense. And then you play the prologue mission, which is the first hour of the game, and that is the most batshit crazy thing I have ever seen. I actually put a tweet out saying whatever Kojima was smoking when he came up with this, I want some. That is off its head. But the story's there, and if you're interested, I'm sure some people, die-hard Metal Gear fans, they love the story. For me, I'm not bothered. It's the gameplay that's got me coming back. It's really, really addictive.
How do you feel about Quiet? Because Quiet has kind of become a source of news stories. I mean, she looks stunning. The voice actor who does it, she is stunning already. But this is an assassin who wears next to nothing. And the only reasoning Kojima is given is she breathes through her skin. Yeah. So that, and it seems a bit of a flimsy, flim-flam way of saying, I wanted a half-naked assassin in there. I don't want to seem sexist, but let's just put a reason behind it. I mean, I like naked women as much as the next person, but did you feel like this is a bit unfair when you were playing it?
Again, it's a Japanese game, and Japanese make games of beach volleyball with girls with just bouncing boobs and things like that. You've got to.
Yeah, but they're playing beach volleyball. There is a reason that they are on a beach and they are in bikinis.
Through their skin. That's the reason.
That's bollocks, really. Because if she's an assassin, she needs tools, she needs belts, she needs armor, she needs all these things to be an effective assassin.
She can go invisible though as well, which is quite cool.
So why does she need to skin out? I don't know.
No idea. But to be honest, she's a good buddy to have, as they're called in this. In fact, I've only played with I probably use my words. I've only played with her a little bit, but I only used her a little bit.
It's even better.
That is even better, actually. I heard myself saying that. But you upgrade her to a point where she's got a tranquilizer silent sniper rifle, and she just follows you around. You can tell her to go to bases and just kill everyone.
She's just got a tranquilizer and she follows you around. It sounds like she's got like Rohypnol in a freaking handkerchief. You know? She's just gonna have a wicked way with you at any moment.
Yeah, actually, in the middle of it, it turns into a dating game.
Oh, excellent! Yeah,
but
I'm sold. Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's an interesting thing. It's like I say, it's Kojima weirdness. But I mean, there's guys on fire riding unicorns being eaten by flaming whales later on in the game. You know, there's so much madness. Nothing is normal.
Are you taking advantage that I might have had a drink or two?
No. That happens in the first hour. Honest to God.
Oh.
I will say though, I have come to a bit in the game, a mission in the game, and I have been distracted by another game that I'll come on to, but it got stopped being fun for me. You know, with a lot of games, you get to a point like this is a boss battle. You get to a boss battle and you try it a few times and you fail, and you say, "I'll come back to that," and then you don't want to go back to it because you think, "Oh God, but it's so hard, and I can't remember what I was doing now," and all that sort of stuff. But I will go back to it at some point. But I think you should try it. I think for you personally, for everyone out there listening, if you're slightly interested in this sort of game, definitely give it a try. For you personally, and I'd wait until you pick it up cheap or pick it up in a deal or something. Because I'd wait till next summer lull, you know, when there's nothing out, and you can get it for half price on trading or something. It'd be worth it.
Well, I got the download of they had the little mini demo. That was on the yeah, that was free on Xbox in August. So I downloaded that and I had a quick go on it, and it was all right. It did feel like every time I failed the stealth part, I ended up just gunning down about 400 people for about half an hour and then dying.
I didn't get on with Ground Zeroes. I get on with this a lot more because it is very much open world. But as I was saying before, one of the reasons I got it and I got sold to it is my favourite game, or definitely one of my top 3 favourite games of all time, is Red Dead Redemption. That's an amazing game. I 100% that game about 5 or 6 times. Can't wait for a sequel. But a friend of mine sold it to me. It's like a modern day Red Dead Redemption, and it is in parts.
Wow.
In parts.
That is praise indeed.
Yeah, it's nowhere near as good in my eyes. It's not got the Rockstar sheen on it, but there is some definite similarities in the way that the game plays. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. But yeah, great game, really, really good game. But I say the next game I've been playing, and it's the same game I talk about every week, but I do have a major reason for playing it this week, is Destiny. And
yes,
because the Taking
Destiny
King.
2.0.
Yes.
Destiny Year 2.
Yes. And I am a big Destiny fan. I love it. I'm a Destiny fanboy. I've been since the start. Played the alpha, played the beta, been playing it for a year. But this is amazing. The Taking King, they've really stepped up the game. Is
it a sequel? Is it a remake?
It's basically the first year. A lot of journalists have said this. A lot of people get annoyed with it, but I think it's true. With the first year, you were playing a beta, a 50 quid beta. They tested a lot of things. They thought what was wrong, what was right, and now they've had a year.
Story.
Yeah. Within the first
needs a story.
In the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes of this game has more story content than the entire of vanilla Destiny. It's brilliant. They've actually brought a story into it. They're using the voice actors. They've got.
Did you just call it vanilla Destiny?
That's what for the first year is called to us Destiny fanboys. You listen. Vanilla Destiny.
Vanilla, not year 1 Destiny, not Destiny.
No, vanilla Destiny.
Version 1. Vanilla.
Yeah.
You have a flavour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about.
So is year 2 like chocolate Destiny, or
it's Neapolitan?
We just say Neapolitan. So we're going into the strawberry phase,
yes.
And then maybe year 3 will be the chocolate. Okay, I like it.
But yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant game. They've brought out the voice talent that they had there, because Nathan Fillion is a character and has been a character in Destiny since day 1.
Yeah.
But he
or Firefly.
Yeah, but that's who he's.
Or Castle, if you're a big girl like yourself.
I like Castle, but that's who he's been in this. He's being Mal from Firefly. If you've ever wanted to play Firefly the game, this is as close as you'll probably ever get, because he's basically Mal. It's wisecracking all the way through it. It's really funny. All the cutscenes are brilliant. And like I said, the stories there. There is a story. You can follow it. You know what's happening. This big guy's coming to the universe. You've got to go kill him, but there's a story behind it and steps, and it's brilliant. And the quest of
steps are in it.
Yeah. There's a tragedy halfway through. It's terrible.
H turns up with his bowl cut.
Yeah, that's the raid. Apparently, he's the raid boss. But now what they've changed the way that you do all the missions. Everything's got a quest attached to it now, so there's easy follow steps of how to do things. So if you want a certain gun, you have to go and kill this guy, do this, collect these things, and you'll get that gun, instead of just it all being like on an RNG base. So it's a lot easier to handle. It's a lot easier for newcomers coming in. It makes more sense for people like us that have been playing it a long time, and it's really good. There's new things to strive for. There's God knows how many weapons and things, and it is like starting again. It's like just starting again, and it's a lot of people are complaining about it, but personally I think it's brilliant, and I think they've done the right thing. And I can't wait to see what they do with the rest of it now.
No, good. I mean, I'm tempted to do it as well. I don't have a second character. I'm just bizarre like that. I have a level 28 hunter. Yeah. Pretty lame, really, in the whole Destiny stakes. But I like the idea that if I'm going to get into the Taken King, then I can start like a warlock or a titan and instantly get to level 25.
Yeah.
I don't need to grind anymore. I don't need to do the whole story anymore. I can just get involved, pick a new character, and then take them into battle. So
that's the one thing with this as well. They said that because the level cap before this was 34, which you had to get through with lights. You get to 20 normally, and then you have light levels of your armor. Now to get to 40, level 40 is just purely through experience. But I will have to say, I thought that was going to take me some time. It took me about 90 seconds to do it, to go from 34 to 40, because I'd saved up some bounties with experience points to trade in, and I thought they'd get me to one level or something, but I went straight from 34 to 40 just by trading in these bounties. It took absolutely no time. But the way they've done the light level now is it's a comparison between all your armor and all your weapons, so depending on which gun and which headpiece or whatever you've got on, helmet you've got on, your level goes up. But it's a much easier way of doing it, and it's easier for people to understand, and it's more variety in it. So you don't have to...
What headpiece do you currently wear?
I have no idea.
Is that Galahorn? Is that a headpiece, or is that just like a
Galahorn was a rocket launcher?
Erotic instrument.
Well, it probably was in certain Scandinavian countries, but in Destiny it was a big ass rocket launcher. It's still in it, but it's not quite as good as it used to be. But there's lots of cool new weapons to play with.
I look forward to getting it. I mean, I see when I dip in, I see all of the different DLCs happening around me. I'm still trying to do a lot of the different side quests. I see all of like the House of Wolves appear and kick people's asses in front of me.
Yeah, it'd be worth, I mean, it's worth getting the DLCs, and it's worth getting this, because they'll all be even if you don't get them now, they'll all come back cheaper, and you can get them all in packs and things. But yeah, it's brilliant, and it only came out 2-3 days ago, so there's a lot more for me to discover. But yeah, if you haven't got it yet, I highly recommend jumping on board now. It's probably the best time to do it instead of coming on when it first came out. This is the time to start Destiny if you've ever been thinking about it.
Now it has a story and lots of content.
Yeah, story, lots of content. It's easy to understand, and it's great fun.
So you've been playing anything else?
To be honest, honestly, I have not been playing that much. I'm trying to just have a think now. I've been playing anything on my iOS. I don't think I have, because Metal Gear took up pretty much every gaming hour I had, which hasn't been much recently. And then since Destiny came out, I've been pretty much all over that. So, awesome. So over to you.
Well, it's basically like old gaming news for me. So some things we've already discussed in the unknown podcast that nobody will ever hear. But basically, I've been playing Batman Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
And I am now 65% through it. Mm-hmm. And I'm really enjoying it. I really, really like it. I must say, when I first started it and when I started to get into it, I felt that Arkham City had more side quests and more interesting side quests. Yeah. I think Arkham Knight deals with it better by having different levels of that side quest. Yeah. So like in Arkham City, you'd have the guy, there was like a mass murderer who had loads of cuts all over him. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but he had all these cuts all over him for all of his victims. Yeah. And then you'd hear a phone call, like a phone ringing, and then you'd answer the phone and it'd say, you know, someone's dying over here. And then you'd go and save it. And so that would be like an ongoing side quest. And it was good. It was interesting, but then when you kind of look at Arkham Knight, and you've got these bodies which are like strung up everywhere, which you kind of scan. I mean, I haven't finished that particular quest, but it just I mean, it's interesting for the first one or two bodies. Yeah. It's like, oh, look, I can do a deep tissue scan, I can do a bone scan, I can do a skin scan. This is really interesting. But then by the sixth body, it's just like, okay, I know exactly what I'm doing, I know exactly what I'm looking for, and it just doesn't seem as intriguing. I don't feel like I've got this connection with this psycho anymore.
Yeah, it is a bit dull, that one, but it is worth seeing through to the end because it has a bit of a good payoff at the end. I won't ruin it for you, but it's worth examining more because it doesn't take that much time to get a cool thing.
That's half the thing. I mean, that's why it is so good, because you want to save all the firemen, you want to find out about the man bat. There's all these different quests that you want to finish before you do the main story. Yeah. And I think it as you progress through it, by sort of limiting what you can do, it makes it a little bit more focused, but then at the same time, it gives you enough variety that if you don't want to progress with the main story, you could just spend 5 minutes doing one of the Two-Face bank missions, or you could spend 5 minutes freeing a tower or something. So one of the main reasons why I really like it is that you feel like you can progress even if you just do 5 minutes gameplay. You could just pick it up for 5 or 10 minutes, get something done, put it down, and then do something else. Yeah. Or similarly, you can play it for 3 hours and then feel like you've made some real major progress. It's just such a perfect game.
Yeah.
That you can take away as much or as little as you want. You could drive around in the Batmobile for 15-20 minutes and just clear up the streets, or you could do all the little side missions, and just so many different things. I'm really enjoying it, and as you've said in previous podcasts, you almost don't want it to finish, and you almost don't want it to end. And now I'm getting to that 65% mark. I'm thinking, I'm seeing a lot of those side quests now being checked off, that I'm almost getting worried that I'm going to finish it soon.
I was so happy I was pleased when I finished that game, because I got to the point where I didn't think I needed to go back to it. I'd done all the side quests I wanted to do, but it didn't make me do the ones I didn't want to do, like the Riddler car chases. I couldn't be arsed doing them. I tried one, didn't like it. But I did all the Two-Face bank jobs. I thought they were great. I did. I can't remember how many of them. I did most of them, but it didn't. And I did all the story mission, and I've finished everything I wanted to before I finished the story mission. And I just thought, that's a brilliant game. I can't, it gave me everything I wanted to. It didn't make me do anything I didn't want to do, which is a problem with a lot of games nowadays. But I thought it just works really, really well. I was really, really impressed with it. So I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And I thought that even the DLC model, I don't usually go for DLC, but when you said about the 1989 Batman and having that 1989 Batmobile, and then having some extra Riddler courses, even though they're kind of in the spirit of the Penguin layers from the 1989 Batman. Yeah. It was only £2. It was like $1.89. It felt like, okay, so now I can experience this grungy, dark, like modern Batman, but then in this kind of retro style that I remember. Yeah. And it was really nice to just be able to pay less than £2 and then have this experience suddenly change in a very kind of a deep way. It was very unusual to suddenly go, oh, I remember playing Batman on the Spectrum. I remember playing Batman in the arcade. I remember playing Batman in all these different things. And then being able to just pull all of that old memory, retro memory, and then just sort of stick it into the modern Batman. It was just like, I thought it was really cool. I really liked it.
That's one thing he says. One thing it touches on. One of the things that I thought was great about the game. You can tell the game is made by fans who are passionate about the subject matter. To make a DLC putting in the 1989 Batman, you've got to know what you're talking about to do that. And it's Rocksteady. Obviously, it's been a love letter to Batman, these 3 games that they've done, and I think it's been fantastic. And if this is the last one they do, last Batman game they do, it's a great way to finish it. I hope it's not. I hope they do more DC characters. I'd love to see them do a Justice League game, or even just a Superman game.
I would love to see them. I had a bit of a daydream about this the other day. I would love to see them take on the Grand Theft Auto and just create Gotham and just do Gotham the game. And then what you do, it'd be like a Grand Theft Auto type game, and what you'd do is you'd go into a game. It would be a 25 player game, and however you enter the game, you could, if you're first in and if you're the host, then you could be Batman. If you're second in, you could be other heroes. And then as people join this 25 person game, you're given a choice of Penguin, Two-Face, Batman, I mean, all these different characters. And as the 25 people fill up, they each have their own set of quests and things that they need to do. Right. And they have and so what you do, it'd be a Grand Theft Auto, everyone joins in, but then everyone has their missions to sort out. And so if you are Batman, then you have to clean up the streets. But if you're Two-Face, then you have an army to dictate. You have all of you, whatever it is, if it's going to be bin lorries, if it's going to be robberies, and you have those quests that you need to do. And you could either team up with, say, Penguin or Riddler or whatever to try and achieve your goals, whilst at the same time these other people in this 25 person game are trying to stop you doing these goals. And so if you could create Grand Theft Auto Gotham, then you might have this real kind of melting pot of games. So I don't know. It's just an idea, just a daydream.
You should trademark that before someone steals it. I'd play that. That sounds great.
Well, no, this is the Rocksteady. If you listen to the podcast, which I'm sure you do, then just do Gotham the game and just make it a Grand Theft Auto game, but with all the different characters. It would just revolutionise online gaming, I really think.
One thing I was going to ask you, now you've played it, I want to see if you agree with something I mentioned on the podcast when I first played it. Don't you think that Rocksteady could make an amazing horror game or a survival horror game? The way that some of the things that are in that game, some of the jump scares and the way it's done, I'd love to see them handle something a bit darker sometime.
Yeah, I mean, the way that they've treated Batman, even through the previous games, it's amazed me. I always thought of Batman, even though I knew deep down Batman was a dark character, I think I've been so used to having Batman softened for me. And then having these Arkham games have really sort of opened my eyes to, this guy's messed up. You know, he's messed up and he's in a messed up world. And they've really brought that out in all of the enemies and all the characters, and even in Batman himself. And then with this one, they've really dug deep, not only in the Batman character, but in the whole universe. I didn't even know there was multiple friends and partners. So without giving too much away, so I didn't even know about this, but I know that in the Batman lore there is now, and I would expect as much. So they've done it for fans. They've done it for people who are new, who know Batman but don't know too much about it. Yes, it falters. You know, the Firefly is not a very good bad guy.
Yeah, I think I did one or two of those. I didn't finish that one.
Man-Bat, he's pretty cool, but he's not. There's a lot of better bad guys. I think they're definitely scraping the bottom of the barrel when it comes to bad guys in this one. Yeah. They've got the standard fare, but then now they're sort of really scraping the bottom of the barrel. Sadly, it was the Batman Origins or whatever that really went to the bottom of the barrel and then dug under the ground a little bit for some of theirs. But
yeah, that was a terrible game. Well, it wasn't a terrible game, but in regard to the other games, it wasn't that good.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. Hopefully, I'll have that done in the next week. I say hopefully. Hopefully, I'll have it all done, dusted, because I do have The Witcher sitting there on my computer now, ready to go. But I want to wait until Batman's done. And aside from that, I've also been playing Borderlands Episode 4, done, dusted. Enjoyed that. It's not as good as some of the other episodes, but there is an amazing shootout in it, which is just a really memorable moment in gaming. And I think Borderlands have really made gaming a movie-like genre. I don't know how that makes any sense, but Borderlands would make an amazing movie.
They're making a movie of it.
Oh, well, excellent. I mean, if they could just make that Tales of the Borderlands as a movie, the story is fantastic, and the way it's told is fantastic. It's not just that it is a good sci-fi. I think the angle that they've taken makes it so much more accessible and gives you so much more freedom in terms of having this sort of, and it's not a spoiler, but basically the story focuses on two people's perspective of previous events.
Right.
So you're always talking in the history of things. So when they talk up their involvement in something, they could be like, the Arnold Schwarzenegger of a moment, because in their mind they were, but then they get pulled, and it's almost a moment of hilarity where one person thinks that they were like the hero of a moment, but then when you hear the other person's perspective, you realize that they were just a wet weekend. And it's just a really good play of storytelling that would make a fantastic movie. And so yeah, episode 4 is done, episode 5's on the way, and yeah, as I say, it's good. It has its moments. The key moment is the gunfight. But yeah, I really look forward to episode 5. And
I think I've said to you before, I don't know if I said to you on the podcast or when we were speaking privately about it, I really want to play these games, but I really want to do them in one sitting. And I don't have time to do that at the moment in my life, so I'm going to wait for a train journey or a plane journey or something like that and sit down and do it. That's what I did with The Walking Dead, so I'm looking forward to doing that. Or a training course in Brighton, probably a good time for me to sit down and play them as well.
I have so many things all geared up, ready for me to play here. So, so other things that I've been playing are, I had a quick go on the Dear God when it was first released. So at the beginning of September, they released Dear God
free on the Xbox, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's a 3D pixel art adventure where it's like an endless runner with RPG elements. So you start as a hunter who kills a deer. Here he dies as he kills a deer by some wolves. He then becomes a deer via the Deer God, and then you are this endless runner baby deer trying to survive crocodiles, snakes, wolves, lions, tigers, everything's out to kill you. And if you die too soon, then you go from a baby deer to a tiny deer, and then from a tiny deer to a bunny rabbit. But in the other direction, as you progress and you get better and better and better, you become a young adult, and then your antlers start growing and you get bigger and bigger until you're a proper big stag. And then once you're a huge stag, then I think you can even get laser horns or something like that.
Okay.
It goes a little bit ridiculous, but from what I played, it was only a couple of hours. From what I played, it had some highlights in that it's quite serene, it's quite pleasurable to play, the mechanics are good, the jumping's good, the graphics are quite unusual in the fact that if you were to look at it from a 2D perspective, it is just pixel art, but then if you were to move your head almost, then it's actually 3D, so it's all been made in proper 3D, but then with a 2D kind of paintbrush. But it's just a bit boring, to be honest. There's a few times where you've just jumped over the same canyon 50 times, and you've jumped over the same crocodile 50 times, and you're like, I need more variation. And even though it does get exciting the more animals you see, after a couple of hours, I was just like, do I want to commit any more time to this? And I was unsure. So it's good for free. It's different. I like different, but I'm gonna have to go back to it because until I don't feel like there's anything else there, and I think I need to go back to it to just explore more.
Okay,
but
I've downloaded it. I've got it sat on the machine. I haven't actually played it yet, but I'll probably get around to it at some point.
You could get a grip of it in 20 minutes, and then you'd know in 20 minutes whether or not you want to keep it on your machine or not.
Yeah.
And I like the unusual, but I think this might be too
step too far,
too boring. Well, I think it's just a bit boring. I think it's just a bit samey. But then apart from that, I have been going crazy on the mobile. So I've done Horizon Chase. I know I told you about this on the Lost podcast.
I've just remembered that is something I have been playing since you told me about it, and I'll let you explain it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
So for those that don't know, Horizon Chase is a homage to all of the 80s outruns and Chase HQ and all that kind of stuff. So it is this it's a racer. It's kind of in a low poly art style, so it's kind of vector art, but everything's kind of very blocky and but it's got a very high contrast, and the visuals are lovely, and it doesn't feel like a modern outrun, but it pays so many homages to Outrun that it doesn't go too far. So if you were to play like Ferrari Challenge on the original Xbox, then that's gone too far. You know, it's trying to go too realistic. This is definitely very much firmly in the Outrun vein, in the fact that the tracks all move the same. When you go around a corner, the horizon stays in the same place, but then the corners change as you turn. But it's not 2D, it's actually 3D. It's actually made in 3D, but it's made to look like 2D. And you collect your power-ups, you collect your fuel, you know, and I think, I'm trying to think how many courses there were. I think there was about 48 different tracks, because it goes across 8 or 9 different areas, which go from like the Canadian Rockies all the way to sort of Vegas and all this kind of stuff. So there's a lot of things going on, a lot of things to do, a lot of bonus tracks, more cars, more upgrades, and for the tracks only take a couple of minutes to play. And so if you do like Outrun and those sort of old-fashioned races, then for £2 you can't go wrong with Horizon Chase. It's good. So what was your experience?
I really enjoyed it. After, like I say, you sold it to me last time on the Lost podcast, and I think it's a really good game. It's really good fun. It's just I've probably only played about 20 minutes of it in 3 or 4 different sessions, but it did make me feel like the old days of playing Outrun and Chase HQ and all those sort of things. Like I say, racing across America in a Ferrari, listening to cool soundtracks. Yeah, brilliant.
Or bit tunes. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah,
really good fun. Like you say, it's £2. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, really good. So yeah, that's one of my picks of the month. I've also been playing The Walking Dead. BT now have AMC on their books, so we get Fear of the Walking Dead as part of that. So I've watched the first couple of episodes. So I'll probably touch on Walking Dead, the TV series, at the end when we're talking about the outside world. But yeah, I've been playing the Walking Dead RPG, which is really good. It's much better than I thought it was going to be. So it's by Scopely, Skybound, Yugo, or something like that, and it's set in the same universe. The art style is very much in keeping with the comics, and I'm trying to think how to describe it. So it's a village management sim. So I'm trying to think of the town. Woodbury. So you look after Woodbury, and you build training camps, you build houses, you build farms.
So are you the governor then in this game?
You are kind of in touch with the governor,
right.
And you're not the governor, but the governor is very much a part of it. So
right.
He's sort of coming to power whilst you're building up Woodbury.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's almost like he's new to Woodbury, and you're building up Woodbury, and then whilst you're away on all these raids, and you're trying to raid shopping centres and you get resources, he's coming to power.
Right.
And every time you sort of get back, you hear about these stories about the governor's been attacked by Rick, and then later on you'll find out that he's been gutted, cut off, and eyes gouged out and stuff. So all these things are happening whilst you're there, but you are just mainly concentrating on getting Woodbury up and running, whilst at the same time you'll get Herschel in part of your team. You'll get what's his name? Glenn. Glenn, yeah. So you get Glenn in part of your team. You'll get Mac as part of your team, and they will join you on raids. And so you might do a zombie raid, and then all the raids are turn-based RPG strategies. So you pick which zombie you want to attack. You say, I'm going to shoot him, or I'm going to use my special weapon, or whatever it is. And then you take all your turns for your team, and then the zombies take all their turns for their team.
Right.
And if you come across locals, then they might have guns, they might have pistols, they might have machine guns, and then it's a similar thing. So you take your turns, they take their turns, and you've got to survive as long as you can. And the more survivors you save, so say you go into a shopping centre, you might save 4 survivors, you can then absorb, like the Borg, those survivors into you. So you go, right, okay, I'm Herschel, I'm pretty good, I'm pretty hard-nosed, I've got like me shotgun, I've saved four survivors, and then you absorb them into yourself in order to level up your character. So you become higher level, better accuracy, better shooting, and all this kind of stuff. And then you earn food, you earn abilities, and all this kind of stuff. And it's really deep. And the art style is very much in keeping with the comic. At first, it's a lot of user interface to get used to. There's a lot of buttons. There's a lot of things you could do. There's gold. There's characters. There's food, there's raids. Whilst you're away, people could raid your town, like real people raid your town, and they steal stuff from you, and you could choose to either exact your revenge, and then you go up against their characters. There's a chat window, so you can see what people are talking about, and people are saying, join my faction, because if you join a faction, then you get an extra character. So there's so many levels of things going on that it was really surprising for a free game. That, okay, yeah, it does push a few sales messages on you.
I was going to ask that because I've seen this. It's advertised all over social media, probably just because I've got a lot of stuff about zombies, so I get targeted for it. But it's over Facebook and Twitter and things. So but it is a free game, is it? So it's
it's totally free to play,
right.
And I have not spent a penny yet.
Right.
I would be tempted to if I get stuck, but I'm quite happy to just let it tick over. Because there's just so many things going on, and there are raids. It says, for the next 3 hours or 3 days, we can do raids. So you can join other team members and then go and do this 7-level raid of maybe the prison. So you're going to go and attack Rick's prison.
Yeah. You're
going to do 6 or 7 battles. Battles only take about, 5 minutes or something. But then, you've got to commit to that time where you're going to assigning who's doing what. You've got to make sure everyone's got their health potions. You can give them like these zombie t-shirts so they're not spotted by zombies. You can revive them when they're dying. You could upgrade them. And then if they get to like this kind of booster point, they each have like a special move. So it might be like a accurate shot or a panic unload where they just like hose everybody down with their machine gun. And if you get into it, if you're happy to be patient, because in most cases you can't build 2 things at the same time, or you can't train 2 people at the same time, it always says, oh, well, would you like to speed this up by spending 5 coins?
Yeah. And
it's generous. It gives you like 200 coins to begin with. So if you want to boost in those first few days or those first couple of weeks, then you've got enough coins to boost your way to a solid village or a solid town. Mm-hmm. But then once all that's gone, that's when the money comes in. So they're trying to get you addicted first.
Right.
But there's just so much going on. It's really good.
So quite a deep game then.
Yeah, really deep. And really it really respects the comic books, and it really respects the characters. You can see that there's been a lot of effort gone into trying to make a storyline fit around the universe.
Well, if it's done by Skybound, I mean, that is the company behind the comic. So I mean they'll obviously had a lot of input into it, and it sounds like from what you're saying it's based on an offshoot comic or a book at least called The Rise of the Governor, which was all based about obviously the rise of the governor. So it might be based around those sort of storylines. It
does sound very much like that, because it almost feels like some of the graphics have been taken directly from this Rise of the Governor. So you almost see him come to power and then fall from grace.
Right.
And if you want the characters that you know from the show and from the comic, then you can pay for that.
Yeah.
But if you're happy to just run with the randoms, then you're giving them in spades. It's just if you want Rick to be part of your team, then you have to be willing to pay for it.
Yeah, fair enough. I might give that one a try. I'm not a massive RPG fan, but throw some zombies onto it and it makes it a bit more appealing to me. So
it's one of those things that you can dip in and out. And it just feels like I've been playing a lot of mobile games this week. But aside from those 2, what else have I been playing? I've downloaded Tomb Raider Go, but I haven't played that yet. I'm going to save that for next week.
Yeah.
That's all set to go. And that's because Star Wars Uprising came out. So the new Star Wars Uprising game came out, and I was just like, well, it's free. I want to try it. And apparently it connects the Return of the Jedi to the new movie, which all of a sudden escapes me.
Force Awakens.
Get with it. Come on. I know, it's late. I've had a lot to drink. And so I've tried the Star Wars the Star Wars Uprising, where it's all set after Return of the Jedi. The Empire is in flux. A lot of the generals are not telling people that the Emperor is dead. So they're trying and keep order as much as they can. And then they're hiring a lot of bounty hunters in. They're hiring a lot of freelancers in to try and keep peace and try and keep the planets in order. So you kind of come in as one of these, almost like a bounty hunter where you have to do a number of jobs for both the Empire and for the uprising. And it's a isometric type run around game. You can choose whether or not you're going to be human or those kind of blue aliens with the two big tentacles out the top of their head, or the same as Darth Maul, those red and black face people. And yeah, the game wise, it's all right. You just run around, you shoot people, you slice them up, and then you go around and you can upgrade your gear. You can unlock new abilities.
What style of game is it? Because I've heard about it. I've seen it advertised, but it's iOS again, isn't it? But I haven't actually downloaded it. Yeah,
well, it is a isometric hack and slash.
Okay.
So you're kind of like a semi top down view. You'll run around a series of levels and you have to kill all the enemies, break open all the chests, and then once you finish a mission, then you're rewarded with gear, you're rewarded with weapons, and you're rewarded with like special metals, which can then go to upgrade your armor, to go to upgrade all of your clothes. You can uncover a helmet. So it's kind of like a pseudo Destiny in terms of, and then you'll always return to a bar. So you kind of go back to the Mos Eisley bar almost. Right. You'll meet up with the gang leader or whoever he is, and he'll give you different jobs. And I think as the game goes on, you're given jobs by other factions, and you'll go to other planets and you'll be given other jobs. So it's definitely a sort of it's not a game with an end in sight. I can't see how I'm going to complete this within the next 3-5 hours. I think they're just going to keep throwing content at it to say, right, okay, now Tatooine's open, so go and get some jobs from Jabba the Hutt. There's going to be a lot of things going on, but ultimately it's telling this story about how the Empire is in a transitional period and nobody really knows what's going on.
There's so much of this stuff coming out at the moment. I was just listening to another podcast actually earlier today talking about there's books coming out and comics coming out, all bridging the gap to The Force Awakens. I'm going to have to jump on some of this because I want to see, because I loved all the the books that came out after the original trilogy, like the
the Thrawn trilogy.
Grand Admiral Thrawn, was it the Heir to the Empire? That was a brilliant book. That was an amazing book. And I'm kind of gutted that they've let all that go, said none of that's canon now. Because there were some brilliant stories there. Like the Tales from Jabba's Palace was brilliant.
Yes.
The story of the Veiny Bumhead Band. What was it? The We Don't Do Weddings or something like that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was brilliant. But yeah, it's kind of sad that none of that's going to come in. But I want to sort of read what they are filling the mid ground with now before the film comes out. I don't want to know too much about the film. It's like I haven't really looked at too many of the toys that have been released. I don't want any characters to be ruined for me. But yeah, I'm gonna have to see what's some of the stuff that's happening.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that they're just tossing away. I don't even know, because I think even in the Admiral Thrawn trilogy and the Heir to the Empire, I think he even got together with Mara Jade at the end of that. So, but if your theory that you heard about Luke Skywalker being the bad guy, if that is true, then there's no way that he's going to get with Mara Jade unless Mara Jade breaks his heart, and then that turns him to Rilo Ken.
The more I think about it, that theory makes sense, because you saw the melted Darth Vader mask in the very first trailer, and his mask is formed from that, and I don't know.
I don't know if it'd be formed from that. I like the idea that Luke is messed up. It makes a very sound argument that Luke, he teetered on the dark side for a very long time. He was in black. He was tempted by the whole thing. Yeah. So if he's already taken those steps down to the dark side, then there's no reason why he could quite easily slip down that path. And they need a baddie. They need a baddie that people can relate to. I think if they just bring in, and by the way, there was this random Jedi who wasn't part of the cull or wasn't part of the main trilogy, I just don't think people are going to buy into it. I think by making Luke the bad guy, and he's just done such a good job as the Joker.
Yeah, he's brilliant
as Mark Hamill. He did nothing for years, and then as the voice of the Joker, he's done an amazing job. So there's no reason why you put him behind a mask make him all messed up
Yeah.
that he can't be this maniacal, crazy Jedi, you know?
Yeah, pulls out the Joker voice. That'd be quite cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
But,
He's got it in him.
yeah. It's his second career, basically. I think he's been brilliant as that. But it'd be great to see him back in Star Wars. He's obviously going to be in the robes and stuff. There's been set pictures of him with the beard and the robes and things, so we are looking forward to that. But seeing we've sort of slipped onto out of games and onto outside world things, and we are running a bit out of time here.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll let you go first on this one.
Well, outside world. So outside of gaming, in the short moments that I have had, I did catch up on Fear of the Walking Dead. I am a massive fan of The Walking Dead.
Say, don't spoil any of it for me. I'm waiting for it to finish and watch it in one go.
They all die in the end. Sorry, and they all come back.
That's fine. I won't watch it now then.
But yes, I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to like it. It is a bit slow. But the way they handle it and the way the characters are anti-heroes. The characters aren't big, butch, and ready for it. The characters are useless. The characters are not prepared. But the fact that they survive certain aspects and overcome certain obstacles, it's very much in the same vein as The Walking Dead. But I think it's got an extra sheen on it. So I quite like it so far. I've only watched the first 2 episodes. I like where it's going. Some characters are stronger than others.
Yeah.
But so far so good. I recommend watching it. I don't know if you've got Sky or BT.
Well, I've got an internet connection. I'll find it somehow.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not downloadable, then you get it free with BT.
I've got BT broadband, so yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, so if you just log into your whatever it's called. BT Vision.
Yeah,
it's right there.
Oh,
It's got a whole AMC channel now, which is a really nice surprise because I was thinking, how am I going to get it? What kind of quality is it going to be? But yeah, you can just download it.
Yeah, I'll have a look at that
straight from there. Yeah, so that's pretty much my outside world. I don't think I've done anything else. I'm trying to think if I watched even any movies. I watched Appleseed.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, and it was been in my wish list for a while. And every time I've sort of shown it to my missus and say, look, look at this description. The end of World War III, the civilization has died. A woman and her android friend roam the wastelands. What's there not to like about this synopsis? It's just like, I'm not watching that. So she was ill. I shouldn't have put that stuff in a tea, but yeah, she was ill. And so I thought, I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm gonna watch it. So it was good. It was really good. We kind of had that. Oh God, what's it called? The Children of the something or other. Do you know the kind of CGI Final Fantasy movie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it was better graphics than that. But the voice acting was good. The action was good. It wasn't. It's not going to win any awards, but it was perfectly watchable. And I've not really seen any of the Appleseed comics or the Appleseed manga. I've been aware of it. I know of it. I know what it's kind of about.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I know of it, know what it is, but don't know much of the lore.
Yeah, after watching the movie, I'd be quite happy to dip into the comics, into the manga to see what it's about, because it does set a really nice scene. It definitely focuses more on the characters than the situation and the scenario. So it's very insular, and it's just like these two people are in trouble, and this is what they're doing. And it just kind of touch upon the old-fashioned manga story that there is some child with loads of power, and we've got to protect them.
Yeah,
that old chestnut.
Akira.
Yeah, but on the whole, the focus is around these two characters, and it's done really well. So for a free movie, totally worth it. I'd watch it.
Cool. So anything else you want to go over? How many outside world films, TV?
What about you? You must have seen some stuff.
Yeah, there's been a few good standouts for me this last few weeks. One thing was again spoke about on the Lost podcast that I'll speak about now. It's probably one of the last people to watch it, but Mad Max Fury Road. I didn't get to see it in the cinema because of just reasons. finally got to see it again. Waited for the wife to be out. She didn't really like me saying, "Oh, watch this. It's basically a 2-hour car fight." So yeah, I waited for her to be out, and yeah, absolutely loved it.
Well worth it.
Brilliant. It's a masterpiece of a film in my eyes, because I love the Mad Max things anyway, and this is obviously done. George Miller's done it again, but just there's things like the cinematography in this. It's just beautiful. I had to pause it a few times just to look at how amazing it's shot and rewind some scenes. But it's as mad as the other Mad Max films. It's crazy, but the fights and the car chases, they take your breath away, because there is CGI in it, but all these cars, these vehicles, and most of the crashes they did in real life. These vehicles exist. They built them. There's huge, massive things, stacks of speakers with a guy playing guitar on it through the entire hour-long car chase. It's insane. Have you seen it yet? Have you seen it?
No, it's on my list.
Yeah, watch it. You'll love it. Again, probably slip something into a tea before before you watch it. But absolutely stunning film. Really good. Can't wait. They are apparently doing another one, and I can't wait for it. I think it'll be brilliant. Made me want to get the game, to be honest, which I haven't actually got yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's really weird with the game, because IGN gave it a great review.
Yeah.
They said it was a proper homage to the Mad Max series. But then everyone else has kind of been a little bit unimpressed.
I'm going to get it. I've read a couple of reviews, and I've spoke to 2 or 3 people I know that have played it and have got very similar taste in games to me, and they said I'll love it, because it's like Shadow of Mordor from last year. It's an open worldy game with Batman fighting mechanics and a few different things to do, but it'll be something I'll get after Christmas and probably the start of next year. But yeah, sorry. Other things outside of that, other films I've watched. Bought on Blu-ray, Avengers.
Age of Ultron.
I love it. I'm a huge Marvel
Any good
fan.
second time round?
Yeah, brilliant. Just as good. Picked up on a few things I missed. I saw it a couple of times in the cinema, so I picked up on a couple of things I missed. Really, really good. It got me really excited for Civil War next year, which is basically Avengers 2.5. Love the Civil War comic storyline, so can't wait to see what they do with this, especially now Marvel have got Spider-Man back again. I was wondering how the hell they were going to do Civil War without Spider-Man, because he's a major part of it.
Is there anything, what kind of things did you miss? I mean, is there any doozies or anything was there an Apple logo on the back of Ultron's head? Or
No, just a few little throwaway lines and references to the comics and things, that are going to come up hopefully in the future for the future films and things. But yeah, just little nods here and there. But I just really enjoy Marvel films. They're a spectacle to watch, and James Spader's voice acting as Ultron in that is brilliant. Have you seen it actually? Have you seen Age of Ultron?
No, not yet.
Oh, definitely. I won't ruin anything for you, but yeah, you watch it, you'll love it. Absolutely brilliant. But apart from that, I think the only other thing I do want to mention, I mentioned it to you briefly off air, is something I haven't actually done yet. I'm going to on Friday, which I think is going to be quite a cool experience. Up near me in the Lake District, a place called Grisdale Forest, are having a special nighttime screening of Predator in the middle of the forest for a drive-in theatre. Which I think
get to the chopper.
It's going to be a brilliant. I was talking to my friend that I'm driving up there with, and we said, we've got to put Long Tall Sally on in the car and wind the windows down as we come driving up through the woods. It's going to be fantastic. But Predator, one of the all-time great films, so really looking forward to watching it in the middle of a woodland setting at night with a few beers with some friends. It's going to be great.
That sounds very, very cool. Kind of in a minor, tiny little relational thing is I actually just got Arnold Schwarzenegger's autobiography, so it's a bit epic. It's massive, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna trudge through it because as a person, I think he's an amazing person.
Yeah.
I think even though he's had his ups and downs, I think anyone that can go from an Austrian weakling to governor of California, I think it's interesting to hear what he has to say. I think he's done some motivational speaking that you can see on or listen to on YouTube, and he's got some really inspiring words. And I think that he's overlooked. And I think that from a at least from an intellectual standpoint, I think he's incredibly clever. But I think in the roles that he's played in Hollywood, that it's not conveyed as much.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to reading his autobiography to find out how he got there and what his thinking is behind things.
No, I think he's a great bloke, Arnie. I think you can't really fault him. I mean, maybe for those Meerkat adverts he's doing at the moment, but the guy's in his 70s. He can do what he wants now.
Exactly. He's made his money. He's got a bad rep from his family life and stuff. So he's just now he can just. Oh, what are you going to pay me? £1 million? Yeah, okay, fine. I can say 5 words for you.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's played some of the most iconic roles in the last 50 years of cinema. You've got to give it to the man. Plus, I only realised until someone told me a few weeks ago, he was actually a millionaire before he even got into films through all his bodybuilding stuff. He made
absolutely.
all his money then. I didn't realise that beforehand. But anyway, I think that's about it from me.
Yeah, that's pretty much about it from me. I mean, the highlight of my week, which is both gaming related, both website related, is if you check on gamingdebugged.com now, do it right after this podcast, is I had an interview with the Volume composer. So if you go on there, the Volume was released last week, and I managed to speak with David Housden, and he has kindly agreed to an interview. So I managed to get a load of questions in front of him, talking about Volume, talking about Thomas Was Alone, talking about inspiration about doing indie games, how to get into indie game composing, what the industry's like. I literally just probe him from all angles. There were no pictures, I'm afraid, but basically I asked him a ton of questions, and he is very open. So if you are into, if you really like Volume, if you really like Thomas Was Alone, if you're into video game composing and music, then check out the soundtrack of Volume. It is awesome. And same with Thomas Was Alone, but then also read the interview because he's got a lot of really good insights in there. So
excellent. Check it out.
So yeah, that's on the website, and also I've got some Submerged content on there. I've got a Submerged review. I've got some Submerged epic moments. So if you want to see that moment where the whale sort of breaches the crests of the wave when you're at this sunset moment, it's a beautiful moment. So I've captured that. That's all on the YouTube channel and on the website. And if you want to, see any of that, that's all on gamingdebugged.com. If you want to follow me, then that is Gaming Debugged at Gaming Debugged. And same with YouTube, it's just user/Gaming Debugged. I'm all on there. 100 videos plus now, probably over 600 subscribers. So if you could subscribe, that'd be awesome. And that is about all of the pimping I'm going to do. John, if people want to get in touch with you, what do they do?
Best way to get in touch with me is Twitter. I'm usually on there. Just catch me at ImageDemon78. Also, I'm on, if you fancy a game anytime, I'm on PSN and Xbox, just under the username ImageDemon.
And if you listen to this podcast, then give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. Get in contact, give us a thumbs up, send us a question, just any kind of engagement. We are really eager to hear what people are saying. Even if it's just Ian, you mumble, and John, you're a northern monkey, just tell us, give us that feedback. We want it, we yearn it. So this has been it. This has been the Gaming Sessions Podcast, episode 5. It should be episode 6 because we recorded one, but it's not. Now this is it. This is episode 5. This is the real episode 5. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, John, for joining me yet again.
No problem.
And we will see you again next week or next fortnight or whenever we're going to do it. Whenever it works. Who knows? Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.